Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Regit and welcome to A Deeper Dream. It is vaguely like a kind of white and black snooty, snorty, elephanty thing, and I never found out what it was or what it represented, so it's doubly interesting to see come about A Deeper Dream, a follow-on to it where we get to revisit something that I don't quite understand. Housed within this recurring dream is Wrath of the Dreamer. It's a restriction and no continue stage, which of course makes it look like a flashing neon sign in a city centre. Let's have a look at what the conditions are. Normal, rare and uber rare. So missing out super rare immediately. Not great, because I like super rares. I think they have the broadest range of good units, but we'll have to work with what we've got. I guess at least of normal and rare, we have plenty of scope for meat shielding. So let's go to equip and fashion something. Now, to the best of my knowledge, the thing that was in Deeply Dreaming wasn't any type of enemy. I mean, it might have been its own sort of novel type, but from what I could see, it was normal type, so I've gone with that, / an all-purpose thing. Plenty of meat shielding, some of it very expensive in the form of jiangshi and ramen. The all-purpose thaumaturge is really rather good. All-purpose stacking from macho leg and cyborg and dragon. Jizo because it's cheap-ish and can do plenty of damage if it gets the chance, and Valiant D'Arctagnan in the hope that it is a normal type enemy. Right, what I might do first actually is just change that into a slow cannon, because that is just more widely useful. So I didn't really peek at what's in there, but what I can do is expand it really quickly and have a peek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, right, that should be fine. So there's a boar immediately. Let's adapt to that kind of situation. Well, I'm not too sure, but Peach Devils seems like the most possibly applicable thing. In the Ultraland is Wisp of Health Man. He'd probably die instantly, and we might not have the opportunity to make use of him. Ice Queen I haven't used yet and isn't true formed yet. Peach Devils I've given talents to. I reckon it's the best shot, but of course, it being a no continue stage, we can't just give it another go if it doesn't perform the proc in time. Seeming as I've got so many and the boar comes out quite so quickly, I'm going to employ a Rich Cat and probably Sniper the Cat as well. Then I won't be doing the thing of wasting loads of items. I feel like I can afford to use them a bit more readily than I otherwise would, and we've saved ourselves the sadness of losing all our energy so far. So let's hope that we can do that again through some success. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, well, nothing else coming out at the moment, so we're just going to have to go with it and start the battle, and nothing came out immediately after that. Okay, so not so bad. Right, I need to be a lot more reasonable with my funds. In fact, I feel like I've really messed it up, because I've already failed quite miserably. Can we get an attack in that procs? No, of course we can't, and there's no point even pausing it. I'm not happy with that. I do think it's actually quite insulting how quickly you can lose your energy in these levels. 200 for a no continue stage isn't, and I don't think ever will be, a reasonable cost. And for that reason, if this continues to happen, I am just going to stop and put my energy to better use, because I don't feel like I should be advocating these stages by feeding my energy into them continuously. We'll give it the shot of what we have here, but no more. This time I've brought Dread Pirate Catley with me because, well, heck, to be honest. Like, I don't really see much else that I can do. Bringing Thaumaturge along as well to hopefully do some weakening, but Catley typically has good enough procs, and I mean, I guess at least there's we haven't had the opportunity to use this in a long time, because of course there's always been ICAT for a while now, but now there isn't because of the whole super rare thing. Look at the glory of the procs. Well, that's cheered me up a right little bit, because that is just really enjoyable to watch it being knocked back so easily. It's rather cracking. How do you like that now, you big red fool? The problem is of just how good these knockbacks are, and I've only been putting out a few meat shields to try and avert this situation. We've got to the base and released the huge old thing at the same time, so it slows everything as well. That's something I didn't quite remember. I'm glad I've kept Peach Devils, because there's a load more boars coming out, and there's the proc. Well, I guess thank you at least. For now, I won't put out Valiant D'Arctagnan. in the hope that if we kill off the boars, there won't be more that come out, and then we'll have a good opportunity to bring out D'Artagnan and it not die. Okay, there are more. But what was briefly fantastic was that we knocked the big sleepy fellow back just before it did do an attack, but it looks like more boars and more boars are just going to come out and come out continuously. So we'll wait for it to do an attack. We stopped it from doing one again there, which was marvellous, but we'll wait for it to complete one, and then D'Artagnan will enter the battlefield. That is, if it actually gets an attack in. As things stand at the moment, it's going rather well, and I've tapped it anyway because of my muscle memory in my fingers. Oh well, I tried, you know. There we go, good, we got another knockback before it could get an attack off. Marvellous. What is less marvellous is us getting knocked back quite so much there, and the fact that we're very low on monies, because of course it's actually proving incredibly difficult to manage them with the types of meat shielding that we have available. I thought D'Artagnan had died, luckily he had not, so it's alright in that sense. Sniper the Cat strikes again, and then something else strikes. But the boars are really horribly still alive. We saw a knockback on one there, and I thought that was all fantastic, but it wasn't what we thought it was, and it was just a knockback. But we are getting plenty of those knockbacks on the sleepy thing. We've come a little bit away from our base, which is only good news. There's another knockback on them. One of the boars might have died now because we've had a plenty big splurge, and fantastic. The thing is gone. My anger is allayed. We have succeeded, and Catley is back. It's taken him a long time being away from the meta scene, but now, ladies and gentlemen, he returneth. Million XP, fantastic, and as you might expect, there's a level after it, which is Revenge of the Dreamer. Oh, of course it is. Why was I slightly surprised by the initial title? That's the format in which they go. But I love formatting. I love things being in a formatty way, because then they're nice, clean and ordered, and r/oddly satisfying. Now, I don't think that my view on how much these no continue stages cost is a sort of reactionary one that I now don't agree with. I agree with my few minutes ago in the video self. What is definitely a marked change is in my mood. Ultimately, I would reduce the prices of these or get rid of the non-force closability of no continue stages. It is true that when I criticise them, I take it as assumed knowledge that I'm referring to the force closing that you can't do rather than the cat food continuing that you can't do. I think it's interesting having a stage you can't cat food continue, but the casualty of that is that you can't force close on them. And for an energy cost of this much, I just feel like that is wholly unreasonable. This second one is free of restrictions, so I've returned my meat shielding to how I might prefer it, that being an eraser, a manic mohawk, and a manic eraser. I've kept the thaumaturge because we still don't know what's going to be going on. Jizo again, multi-purpose, useful, as is manic macho legs if we happen to need the waves. Manic King Dragon has a slightly larger range than King Dragon, and I like a bit of range. Peach Devils eventually worked well for us, and of course is Angel as well as Red. Then I've got Cyberpunk for everything except for metal, and we've kept Valiant D'Artagnan because we can assume that the sleeper thing is still in there. The sleepy thing might still be a normal type enemy, but I still can't actually tell. Jury's out, but I assume the watching jury has already made its angered closing statement of guilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. It's just thing, and it's slightly lumbering, slightly slow, so could we do with a Rich Cat and Sniper Cat? I doubt we're going to get it done on this round, so no, I'm just going to go with it as it is. There's nothing that's immediately going to ruin me, although I say that, something fast could easily come out and ruin everything, and it does attack from quite a long way away. I've got a lot of items, so yes, we'll put some items on. Let's see how Manic Eraser does. Does it get hit and killed in one shot? Because if it doesn't, that is marvellously good value. It doesn't. The thing attacks quite quickly, but actually it survived more than one shot, and what killed it off was a Dark Doge, for which we have a Jizo, so that's alright at the moment. Well, that is actually really quite cruel and horrible. Well, the next Jizo should hopefully get it shot off and start killing those off. They're strong Dark Doges, alright, so I'm glad I got my Jizo here. We will position the Cyberpunk there, and luckily it does not move forward from the base, but it's outranged. Okay, that's a a ridiculous range, one that I did not account for, and we're already being sniped as a result of that. So that is some real scumbag behaviour, and there is nothing we can do about it realistically, because we're just stuck up against a wall now, and this is going to be highly unentertaining failure. We've knocked it back once, so good on you, D'Artagnan. And in fact, he has got an increased attack at the moment, which is good for it. D'Artagnan is still alive and frozen in the air, and now he's dead and frozen in the realm of death. And there's another sleeper thing, so we're definitely going to die, and of course there's nothing you can do about it, because again, it's no continue stage. I return to my old argument. It leaves you in a rather uninteresting lurch from which you can't escape, makes you feel a bit hopeless, worthless, and that the energy and items you ploughed into it were utterly pointless. For our final attempt today, I have remembered the fact that I do have something that resists freeze and can replace the eraser as a meat shield, so hopefully that will help us move up a little bit closer if we ever get massively inconvenienced, which I mean every single shot of the battle is, but there we go. I've also got Maglev, questionable if that hit or not, because that's a nice fast attacking thing. I've brought Bombercat in for the black enemies. Whether it will often get shots out, I don't know, but hopefully it will help complement Jizo, just like it's very helpfully doing there. Thank you for the example. Nice Maglev shot. I've also got Gamirion. Not something that resists freeze, but is tanky enough to mean that Sleepy Sneezy Boy doesn't move forward too far. It will be tanking away at Gamirion for at least a little while, and it will form a sort of Zamboni-like wall thing. How long it lasts will determine its usefulness. I've also got a CPU because, heck it, I thought we might get plenty of money from killing the black enemies. I'm not sure if we will, but it'll complement what I put out anyway. Gamirion got a shot off there, and we disrupted one of the Sleepy Boys, so that's good. He's certainly pulling his weight. Everything else is getting ever so slightly decimated, and the CPU's trying its best, as am I, and that's basically all I can do. There's another Elder Sloth that's appeared, which is just bad taste, really. I'm going to turn off the CPU just so I can have this end bit of the battle as me, to allay the suspicion that if I had done this myself, it would be all fine, because it probably won't be. There is actually too much stuff there for any of this to deal with. The Jizos are putting up a really good fight. I'll give them credit where it's due, but it's obviously nowhere near enough, and there's obviously too much stuff here, and it's just obviously not going to work, and it's obviously a huge waste of time. Items. Once again, no continue stages in the form of no force closing is a bad concept. Yes, I'm salty, but it's something I maintain even when I am sweet or flavourless. Okay, last go I can have in a conceivable while. I've changed it up slightly, but not in any kind of meaningful way. This feels markedly like the point in the video where I fail miserably because I go off on a tangent that's even worse than the one I went on before. I've reduced the number of meat shields to make it a little bit cheaper. Manic Eraser lasted well when we did that little experiment with it. Saber Altar, don't know much about it other than that it resists freeze, so that's why that's there. That's also why Wind Dancer Valkyrie is there, and it's fast. Fast is important here. The Zamboni True Form can hopefully get in and stop stuff. Metal Macho can hopefully reduce the amount of damage it takes and just keep around for a while. Maglo as fast as we know, and then we have the great team, hopefully, for killing off the black enemies, but they might get caught out. Not going to waste any items on this go. Let's just see what happens and go into it. Okay, we start off going to try and delay him as soon as I can, get a Worker Cat upgrade on, and just play it by ear from there. So Maglev actually knocks it back. I forget about the Elder Sloth all the time, and I was looking at Cats in a Cradle and it had Alien on it, and for some reason I thought to myself, oh well, that's useless for this. I've made that bed now, I guess I got a lie in it. We're going to try and knock it back. The freeze isn't going to stop us, so that was actually alright, but what wasn't alright was just getting killed off completely there. Anyway, as I suspected, I've gone to great lengths to try and record this before I go back into the realms of not being able to speak anymore, but actually it's going to have been another pointless venture. We got another nice clip from Maglev there, which is really what it's all about, having those little victories. I say that when really the ultimate objective is to win the level, and so that's completely untrue. But I think we can establish from this that this is completely useless to be doing. I guess at least this time I was very open to the fact that it only really gets worse, so I am not surprised. So I'm going to save myself a little bit of the inevitable time that would have gone forth and depart. Perhaps when we next try it, we might succeed a little bit better. But for now, I have no longer to continue fighting this losing battle. But I hope it's not been a losing battle watching this. I hope it's been an enjoyable, peaceable experience for you. And if it hasn't been, release your anger into the comments. Not in the form of anger, but in the form of constructive, this is how you do it. Or make a drawing out of semicolons. You do you. That'll do. I have to be off now. So with the very large hope that you have found this an enjoyable experience, I will bid you goodbye, and I hope you enjoyed.